everybody, and welcome back to the Unexplained Archives. I am one of your hosts, Jennifer Gentner.
Hey, and I'm Jamie, the other one.
How's it going, Jamie?
Hey, how are ya?
I'm doing good. I had this really super fun weekend in Indiana, but then I came home and it was like I've had better weeks. Yeah, I'm hoping your week was better.
It was. I think we alternate, like when shit hits the fan on my end, it's like a good week for you, and then we just take turns.
We switch on and off. It's so true. I think so part of my issue is I came home and it kind of started, like it kind of hit as soon as I got right back. I came in the door. Now I knew while I was gone, my daughter Gabby had been helping out with my small petting zoo that I have.
Yeah.
Because I have an abnormally large amount of pets. So I have quite a few cats. I've got 2 dogs. And so unfortunately, while I was gone, one of our cats was not feeling very well. It had kind of started just before I had left. And, she just wasn't acting herself. And so, Gabby had called me while I was away and had said, I think things are getting worse. So she made a trip to the emergency vet. And they kind of had a feeling that maybe she was having some kidney issues. And so, they had given her some fluid and they were just kind of keeping her comfortable. And Gabby was able to bring her back home. But boy, by the time I came back home, she was not doing very well. She did pass away. But there's a big part of us that feel like she was kind of waiting for me to come home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
know. I'm so sorry that happened. That's really sad.
It's hard. So it was our kitty, Pinto was her name. We actually didn't even have Pinto for very long, just a few years. I do have a tendency to adopt older cats. Yeah. I just feel like no one really goes in to get an older kitty cat. So so we kind of got Pinto a little bit older, and she's just sweet, very sweet cat. Even when she wasn't good, the last couple hours, but you would pet her and she was still purring, and so it was really, but so we had that. The next day we kind of had like a little kitty funeral for her. But as this was happening, I was outside. I was kind of digging a hole so we could bury her in the backyard. And my son Hayden comes running out and he was like, oh my gosh, he was like, Frank has a mouse. Frank is one of our other cats.
Yeah. Oh no.
I was like, come on, what? And it took me a second. I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, because I'll open the laundry room leads to our garage.
Yeah.
We let the cats go out sometimes so they can explore and kind of feel like they're getting outside.
Yeah.
And sure enough, there must have been a mouse in the garage, and Frank grabbed it and decided to bring it inside.
Oh no.
And I thought, and I don't do well handling things like this. I wish I was better about it. I just don't. I don't like dealing with bats. I don't like dealing with little critters.
No rodents. No rodents.
No. Yeah. So sure enough, Hayden's like, I can hear it squeaking. It's down there squeaking. And I was like, oh God. And I did. I went downstairs and, Frank was having a good old time just batting this thing around, and this poor scared little mouse. I was able to get Frank, we have a bathroom in the basement. And so I got the cats out. So I'm alone in the bathroom with this mouse.
No. I don't know why. I don't know why they're so creepy, but I just can't. It's just gives me the icks.
Yeah. It's because a lot of them, they're so quick. I don't like things that dart and are quick.
Right.
And you don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I've seen mice and this one did, it was jumpy. It was jumping a lot. And I was like, sit still, man. I was like, I'm trying to help you here. And so I hate to say this, but my daughter, Gabby, and I have said this to her, I'm kind of like, you're kind of like the man of the house. She handles all this stuff. She puts stuff together. She fixes things. If there's emergencies like this, she's calm enough. She just handles it. She does the gross stuff that I can't do.
No,
And
that's awesome.
yeah, it's great. And I'm super proud of her. I am the sissy. And so she was home, but she was not feeling well. So she was like, and because she
Oh,
had just had this terrible weekend, like taking care of her
yeah.
poor kitty. And so I was like, yeah, take a nap. And I'm downstairs. This mouse moves and I'm screaming. I'm like, I don't know how she's not waking up. So finally, I'm calling for a Hayden to get Gabby. And so Gabby's like half awake. And I was like, she comes down, the door's closed. Here's the thing though. There was it's Easter time. A plastic Easter egg somehow made it into the bathroom, and this little mouse had put his little paws on this Easter egg, and he's looking at me, and I was like, dang it, you're adorable. Like,
oh no. It's a trick.
right? He's just looking at me with his little paws on the Easter egg. And I'm just like, oh gosh. I'm like, listen, I have to get you out of here. I'm like, there are major predators in this
Yes.
house. I'm like,
I'm
come with
doing
me
you a favor.
right? I mean, somehow, I'm trying to like put something over the mouse to try to scoop the mouse to get it out of the house. It wasn't working. This thing was so fast. It would come
Yeah.
out immediately. And Gabby's like, she's like, just get a bucket. She's like, I've got like a file folder. She's like, try to put a bucket over it and stick the file folder under there and pick the whole thing up. I'm like, I'm trying. It is escaping. So finally, at one point, the mouse got out. It was so fast. They're so quick. It got under the door, out of the bathroom. And I was like, friend, you are on God's time now because I can't help you. I mean,
no. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's cats like waiting outside.
Yes.
They're just, and I was like, oh, and I felt so bad. I'm like, this thing is adorable. Like, this thing does not have a prayer.
No.
And Gabby's like, I have to, because her bedroom's downstairs. I've got to sleep down here with this. This is terrible. I'm going to find it dead in my bed. And I was like, I'm sorry. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe an hour passed. Gabby went downstairs and she just had this feeling like it was a hiding behind a box we had down there. And she just pulls this box away. And there it is, just looking right back at her. And I hear her, she goes, oh my God, it's so cute. I'm like, I told you. I'm like,
I know.
It's adorable.
Suckers.
She's like, it's just looking at me. I'm like, I know. That's what it does. It just looks at you with its cute little nose and whisker face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so sure enough, she was like, do you think you could come down here? She's like, the cats are swarming.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, yeah. I was like, yeah. So I came down. I kind of got the cats like barricaded. And sure enough, she just finds this little bucket, puts it right over, sticks the file folder under it, and walks it.
She's a mouse whisperer.
Right? I'm like, this is why I have Gabby do everything for me.
Wow.
To get it done. Yeah. So yeah, she saved the day. We saved the mouse.
Okay.
I mean, I just wanted to be like, man, you're so lucky because could have gone real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
it didn't have a chance with all those predators there.
No way. I mean, like, the dogs, like our dogs are big. They're big dogs. Jamie knows they're good size. But I don't even think they would have been the issue. The cats were just like, they knew what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I was like, oh, don't do this.
I mean, they were made to catch mice.
They are. They are. They are. And I think poor little Frank was so proud of himself because he was like,
it's a gift.
It was a gift.
He brought you a gift.
He did. He did. And it was just a gift I did not want. And but problem solved, mouse saved. But it was just, I'm like, I'm just trying to bury my cat, man. Why do you guys have to cause my issues here? So that was kind of a funny problem, after it was all said and done. But then the day after that, I had my car detailed. It was a person. It's called Kev's Car Care. He's out of Clinton, Michigan. He does such an amazing job. He comes right to the house and he just cleans your car. And so, oh my gosh, he did this immaculate job. The car looked and smelled amazing. And I thought, this is great. So after he was done, the very next day, I get up because I'm getting ready. I'm going to the gym in my, nice smelling car. Yeah. And the darn thing wouldn't start.
No.
No, it was dead. I was like, oh. I'm like, this is what happens. I felt like the car was rejecting the cleanliness. It was not used to being clean. So
Yeah.
it was just like, no, I can't run like this. Like, I
Yeah.
need to be a filthy
This
mess
is
again.
yeah, this is not the way I roll.
Right. I like to be a slob. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm used to the filth and the dirt. You clean me. I don't even know what to do with myself. So,
Yeah. My
yeah.
car
Sure
doesn't
enough.
like baths either.
Okay. So there you go. I mean, I've actually, I've had the car for a couple years now, but I'd never had it cleaned, and it was just getting out of. I really am. I'm a terrible, terrible, horrible slob. I'm a messy person, and we live out of the car sometimes. I feel like we're
Yeah.
going here, we're going there. We're eating dinner in the car. You know how
Yep.
it goes. It's just, yeah. So he did this beautiful job, and then the car isn't working.
Ah,
So yeah, but I ended up having to have the car towed, so it could get fixed, and it had been gone for a couple of days. I was without a vehicle for a couple of days, but it's fixed. It just needed a new battery. My key fob needed a new battery. Jamie and I were talking, like, what are the
yeah.
chances that both things go out at the same time?
Right.
You know? So yeah. That was my week.
Oh, man. But before that, but you had a good trip though.
Yeah,
Before
that was the
that.
thing. Yes, and so last episode we came to me from Indiana. So I was getting ready to go to.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
That came out of nowhere.
Those sneak up.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. So yeah, I was headed to the Roads Motel. I know we kind of talked about, Jamie was going to do an episode this week, and then we were going to go the next, but it just kind of worked out with that. Let's just do it. Let's just talk about it. But yeah, it ended up being like it was a super fun weekend. The Roads Motel is a really cool place. I ended up being there. I think we were there for about 6 hours, ghost hunting with two of TV's ghost hunters, Kris Williams and Dustin Pari, which I had met before at the Ohio State Reformatory. This was different though, because it was way more intimate. I mean, it's not a big place. The Roads Hotel, is actually it's a very like large house, really. So you can't put as many people as we had at the reformatory. So I believe there was maybe 20 of us.
Okay, so
there.
it's more intimate and personal. Yeah.
Which was really, really cool. Like I just thought, that was really cool and really amazing. And like I had said last episode, I purposely really didn't do a lot of research on it. I thought I kind of want to be surprised. I don't really want to be looking for anything in particular while I was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought, you know what? Well, I want to give you guys a little bit of the history and then my experience there.
Yeah, you gotta do it while it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah, exactly. Because who knows? By next week, it's each day things keep coming out and they're lost forever.
Right. Yeah.
So
more and more. The older I get, things just go. I think I will never forget that. And then I do every time. So I write everything down.
Right.
Do it right then. So I get it done.
Yeah. I use the memo on my phone a lot. Just because I am horribly forgetful. So yeah. So thank you, Jamie, for letting me have this week, because I'll probably get a fresher story. But yeah, so I was at the Roads Hotel, which is in Atlanta, Indiana. I found it so interesting because the drive I was taking there was kind of really like back roads. It was a very country, like I thought I had done something wrong, because in my mind I thought hotel, I wasn't sure the size of Atlanta.
Right.
And so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it was this beautiful drive. And then it's kind of like, boom, you're there, you're in town, and there it is. And so at this particular place, there have been reports of disembodied voices, conversations that people can hear, like a couple people like talking back and forth.
Ooh.
People have seen apparitions there, and doors kind of opening and closing. I think for I think honestly for the situation we were in, I don't think it disappointed. I think everyone kind of experienced a little something, so which
Oh,
was
good.
really, really cool. Which I think is another, I think it's another good reason for smaller groups
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I think when there's just so many people in one place,
Uh-huh.
I think even if there was activity going on, you might miss it
You might
because
miss it.
so many
Is
people.
too
Yeah,
many distractions. Yeah.
exactly. So I thought this was just a really cool opportunity. So
Yeah.
um,
Well, it sounds like my kind of place. I'm super
it
excited to hear
is.
about it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really neat. And actually, I was going to tell you, Jamie, like this is something we should consider. I looked it up. You can rent the whole place out for an eat like a whole night. Stay the night there from 7 p.m. to 10 a.m. It's $500. You rent the place
Wow.
out. I think I'm just saying. I'm
That's
proposing here.
good.
I thought so too.
That's
I think we should
reasonable.
seriously consider
Uh-huh.
renting it out. We could bring a couple people. I know Sarah, our social media director, would come too.
Yeah.
Like she would love it. And just come and do like a little private
That
investigation.
would be so fun.
I think it would be
Yeah.
really cool. And then to be able to stay overnight, because we did not stay overnight there. Um,
Okay.
Dustin and Kris did. They had actually stayed the Friday night before, and they were staying that Saturday night as well. So
Oh,
they
that's
got to
awesome.
sleep
That's
in
the way
there
to
with
do
all
it
the.
though.
They
Get
did,
a couple
yeah,
nights,
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
I
really
thought
great.
I thought it was really cool.
If everybody split it, it wouldn't be that bad at
I
all.
don't think it would be bad at all, and I thought it would be kind of cool to do a show from
Yeah.
there and to kind of talk about what we're experiencing. So just
Yeah.
throwing it out there, putting it
Yeah,
out there.
I
I thought
like
that'd be
it.
so
Let's add
fun.
it. Let's add it to the list. We can bump that
Yeah.
one up. I think that's a
Okay.
pretty good one. Yeah.
I just thought I'm like that's doable. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of a cool little thing. So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it'd be kind of neat.
Cool.
So I'm going to give a little history on the hotel, and then I figure I can kind of talk about the things that I experienced there and just kind of how it worked being with the ghost hunters again. Which
Yeah.
was just a really neat experience. But yeah, so the Rhodes Hotel, it was built in 1893. It's a two-story Queen Anne style house. Beautiful home. They're currently trying to do some renovations and restorations there as well. Um, Originally, the house was purchased by Newton and Clara Rhodes, hence the name of Rhodes Hotel. They purchased it, turned it into a hotel themselves. Um, where Atlanta is, there is train tracks there. There's a train that comes through. So it kind of worked as kind of like a stop. It's not too far from Chicago, not too far from Indianapolis, kind of right in the middle. And it was kind of all when it was like there was a natural gas boom going on. So people were
Okay.
trying to get money that way.
Right.
So it saw a lot of people come through. There was a stop in Atlanta, so people would come and stay at the Rhodes Hotel. So they got a lot of people staying with them. It was a good deal. Um, Unfortunately, after some decades, Newton did pass away,
Oh.
left Clara there on her own. So what did she do? It was the time of prohibition. She made it into a speakeasy and a brothel.
Oh, go Clara.
Claire said, I'm gonna get my money, honey.
That's right.
So yes, she sure did. And yeah, so they had a lot of the rooms upstairs were no longer bedrooms for her family. They were now, or for guests, but they were now for clientele.
Okay.
Yes.
She's a real businesswoman.
I'm telling you, that's right. I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
So, the place may have had a couple of very famous people stay there. It is rumored that John Dillinger stayed there, old gangster. And the story is there was a staircase that kind of went out back that led to a room upstairs. And you can see the door is still there, just kind of, floating up top, but it's been sealed off since. But back then it wasn't. So he would hop the train. He'd come to the hotel, he'd go up the stairs and not check in so he wouldn't get caught and go in through the door, and he would stay at the hotel.
Wow.
Yeah. So they have no official proof of this, but so many people in town have that story, and I don't know, kind of makes sense. They're not
Yeah.
too far from Chicago. It was the right time.
Right.
certainly possible he could have been there. Another one is Al Capone. It said that he was there as well. So yeah, I think that's kind of fun. What a cool little history there.
Yeah,
to have both those guys there. Yeah, for sure.
Al Capone got around because he also was rumored. I think I don't think it's rumor. I think it's fact.
True,
but he stayed at in Hot Springs, Arkansas, because it was a spa town, with all the natural hot springs.
Yes.
And it attracted a lot of people, to the area. So
that's cool.
But yeah, he also stayed in Hot Springs at some of the resorts there. So
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Hearing stories about that. I just think that's really, really neat.
That's cool. Yeah.
So that was at least two of their most famous guests there at the hotel. So there were quite a few deaths inside the house. I mean, mostly because of sickness and, from what I understand, tuberculosis,
right,
which was no good at the time. A lot of people lost their lives because of tuberculosis. Newton and Clara had a son by the name of Everett. And when he was 18, he actually got tuberculosis, and they kind of quarantined him in what is now known as room 5. Okay. So they kind of let him be in there. And unfortunately, he did pass away. It is said that his spirit still lingers there and possibly in that room. So the current owner of the hotel, said she had an experience herself. Her and her family were staying in Everett's old room, and they were getting ready for bed. They were in bed. It was really quiet, but she could hear clearly large, like, boot sounds walking around the room.
Oh,
yeah. So that really kind of freaked her out, but she told us the story of how she stayed there before they even owned it when she was younger, and they were just staying there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And sure enough,
you still bought it.
And she bought it anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, it is said that Everett is still there. Now, both, like I said, Newton actually had passed away in the house himself.
Okay.
Clara passed away in the house. Okay. And also Newton's stepmother, Catherine, she passed away in the house as well. So it is quite possible the entire family still roams the halls, the hotel. Yeah. Yes. There is another story that they did do some research and found out it is not so, but it was rumored that a preacher by the name of Lester Poole had actually come to stay there, and that he had hung himself in the attic of the house.
Oh.
But they did, Crystal, the owner, has said she actually did research herself, discovered that there is a Lester Poole. He probably had stayed at the hotel, but he did not pass away there. He had passed away someplace else, and it wasn't from hanging. But they do think someone did hang themselves at the hotel. They have even had people come in doing investigations, and have actually had, like, things like kind of show up kind of like in the closet area of one of the rooms that actually kind of appeared. And I apologize, that, like, the SLS, the kind of like the screens you can get, so you can actually see if there is you can't see a full body on the screen, but you can kind of get the idea. It almost looks like a little hangman character, stick man type thing. And they have had things appear that look like someone was actually kind of hanging in the closet. Yeah. So it's certainly possible someone did, but it wasn't Lester Poole. But you don't know. Could have been someone else.
Yeah.
Yes. It is also said that one of the prostitutes that worked there, her name was Sarah. I don't know that she necessarily passed away there, but she still hangs out in her old room. We were told that sometimes you can get a little more activity from Sarah if you offer her some money. So we did. I know there was a guest there with us during my ghost hunt that apparently was in there laying money out for her.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But yes, so she will, I guess, make sounds, or people have felt, maybe being touched and things like that while being in there. So the how, and I have also heard, although they didn't tell us the story, I did do a little research after I came home, because I wanted, make sure I learned it all.
Right.
There's been voices of children. I think primarily a little girl. They've picked up EVPs of hearing a young girl's voice. So the place is full of spirits, young and old. So I thought, well, gosh, then we're bound to have something happen while we're there.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah. So that's a little bit of the history of it. Like I said, I got there. Didn't know exactly what to expect, just kind of pulled up, got out of the car. There were some people there already before me. They weren't letting anyone in just yet. So a little line had formed. So we jumped in line, and all of a sudden one of the doors opened, and Dustin Pari sticks his head out the door. Oh. And it's like, what are you doing, bastards? Come on
in. That's funny.
Yeah. So we did. We all kind of went inside, and they greeted us. Kris and Dustin greeted us. And it's funny because I was kind of like, in my head, I thought, if I become a groupie now, right? Like, this is my second time doing an investigation with them. But no, there are other people who have way more time with them than me, and have been doing it a lot longer than I have, because they knew so many people by name. They were like,
wow.
Oh, hey.
And did they remembered you? Like,
no, they did not remember me.
Oh, dang. So you're not quite a groupie yet.
I'm not a groupie. I can't say it. No, they didn't. He did not know, because Dustin was kind of doing the check off as you came in. And
yeah. I bet they
like,
would have remembered you if you had your Disney bag.
Jamie, I did. I brought the backpack.
Oh.
I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure. I was like,
yeah,
Dustin's going to remember me. We had a moment with the backpack. And so I was like, I brought it again. And it was funny, because once we kind of came in and they had some chairs put out and we sat down, at one point Dustin walked past me. He looked, he's like, oh, I like your bag. And that was, that was it.
Did you say, you already told me that?
I know. I was going to
the last time we hung out.
At least the bag, Yeah. Yeah. So
that's funny.
Yeah, I thought for sure. I was like, the bag is going to do it again for me. But that's all right.
Wow.
Next time, I feel like I spent enough quality time this time around with both Kris and Dustin, that if we were to do this again, they'd be like, hey,
they remember you.
Jen? Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Did you have the pen too that they gave you?
No, because it was Steve Gonzalez gave me the Disney pen. And so they didn't know that Steve had given me the pen. Yes. Right. Yes. Yeah. So, and I'm telling you, there were a lot of people at the reformatory. So I get it. I'm not sad, but if I were to do this again, I might be a little sad next time if they're not like, hey,
yeah. Especially it's a smaller group too, and you had more time. Yeah,
we did, and that was the thing. We actually spent quite a bit. I would say probably more so with Dustin than Kris. Like, Dustin is a very both of them honestly are two of the nicest people you're ever gonna meet. I just think Dustin's a little more like, he really, like, he'll ask questions. He comes up. He like wants to know everybody and like what they're doing.
That's cool.
And so, yeah. At one point there were some people there that they knew, and one of them was celebrating a birthday, and they brought cupcakes.
Oh,
Dustin and Kris brought cupcakes.
That's awesome.
The people. I was like, that's so nice. And so they talked for a bit, and I'm trying to think. I think we kind of did. It was more like a Q&A. They shared some stories, which honestly, like, they did this at the reformatory. I could probably sit there forever and just hear about ghost hunting stories, or filming stories of, when they were filming with Ghost Hunters. And, Dustin they both did Ghost Hunters International as well. So we got a few behind the scenes stories on things like that. And they're very honest and upfront about their feelings about a lot of that stuff. And
that's good.
Kind of why they got out of the television portion of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's understandable. But I love to hear the stories. It's a lot of fun, and people could ask questions. And so, so we did that for about an hour or so. And then the owner, Crystal, she had come up and she had kind of given us some history on the house, which was really, really nice.
Oh, good.
And she had talked about, so her brother, Mike, had owned the hotel before, and then she has kind of taken it over. So it's Mike Couch. He has a foundation called the Lost Limbs Foundation.
Oh.
So what he does, because he actually had one of his legs amputated. And so he raises money to help families who have children who need prosthetics.
Oh, great.
They can get expensive, and these are things you don't think about, but as kids get older, they need more, these things they outgrow.
Just like, shoes. They grow out of shoes. They're gonna definitely grow out of their prosthetics. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So his foundation helps families to be able to afford these things.
Yeah.
And so I was a little unclear if it still goes on now, just because I know Crystal has kind of taken over a bit more. But when Mike was running it, like a portion, like if you came to stay at the hotel or do any kind of investigating there, a portion of what you pay went to his foundation. So I thought, my goodness, that's such a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And although he wasn't there was lots of photographs on the wall too of him.
Aww.
And a lot of the people who'd come to visit. Just about every famous ghost hunter has been there, and their pics are on the wall, which is really, really neat. That's fun.
That is neat.
Yeah. So I thought that was so nice.
I wanted to ask, how many rooms are there in the hotel?
So I was trying to remember myself. I believe there are 6 upstairs, six
okay.
bedrooms. And so, and downstairs, there's quite a few rooms. It's almost like kind of like a big circle almost. You kind of just do the circle. There's a grand staircase. Once again, everybody, if you do not follow us on Instagram, please follow us on Instagram. I'm going to post the pictures I took because you really need to see this place. It's so cool. Great staircase that leads up the stairs. So it's kind of like that's almost at the center of the house, and you just kind of like goes from room to room down there. And so, it's a good size place to be able to hold that many, and the bedrooms are a good size, so plenty of space.
That's really cool. Okay.
It was really, really neat. But after everyone kind of spoke, we took a little bit of a break. They brought snacks and things for us to have, and so I was just kind of hanging out in my seat, and I could see him kind of coming out of the corner of my eye, but Dustin came, sat right down next to me, and he was like, "How's it going? How's it going, Jen?"
Nice.
Yeah, not because he remembered me, but because he checked me in.
Yes.
So we just chatted. I was asking how, because he was eating his cupcake, and asked him how he liked it. We talked about frosting and how much, we both like frosting on our cake, and we don't understand when people always try to scrape it off.
Yeah.
So it was really, really cool. Like, he's just so down to earth and super, super nice. And, I kind of thought about it, and not so much in the moment, but like later, after like the next day or whatever, I was kind of driving home, and there was moments too when we were doing our investigation. And at one point I was in what was considered the game room. I was in there because that's actually where when we were just touring, I felt the most happening already. So I wanted to get back in there and see what I could see.
Yeah.
And so I went back to the game room, and at one point Kris came in and sat down, and then Crystal, the owner, came and sat down, and it was like the 3 of us in there, doing like an EVP session, and, doing, talking and doing all this stuff. And it wasn't until the next day driving home, I was kind of like, how cool was that? Like, I'm sitting there with like Chris Williams, And, you know, Dustin Perry's coming just chatting away. It's, you know, these people who've been investigating for decades. And, you know, there's so much you can learn, you know, from them. They're so happy to answer any questions you have. But I was kind of like, oh my gosh, that was really cool. Like we were just hanging out. Like
yeah, I love it.
And that was kind of the neat thing about this particular investigation, you know, and I love the Ohio State Reformatory. I love it. So much history. But being able to do something a little more, you know, smaller group, and having more really like one-on-one time with the ghost hunters, I was like, it was really, really great. So
yeah,
how cool is that? Yeah. So, Crystal had kind of taken us around while it was still light out before like we turned the lights out and did an investigation. So we had kind of gone into like the dining room area. They talked a lot about I think really more like in the 1920s, maybe 1930s, they would actually perform seances in the house. And that was kind of the room they did them in, because there was a big dining room table in there to kind of represent what would have possibly been there at the time. And you know, how they all came together and we're trying to, you know, see what spirits were there. Later in the night, we actually tried something similar, just to kind of pay homage to, you know, what they had tried there before. So we went through there, and then you kind of lead into kind of like an entryway area. They set up like a front desk almost as if you were coming into the hotel. And it has, because there are a couple of doors. There's like a side door, there's a front door. It's got great big beautiful porches out front. And so you could kind of come in that way. Like I said, then you kind of go past that beautiful staircase that they have. And then from there kind of leads you into the game room. I'll tell you, as soon as I walked into the game room, I felt dizzy. Like I just got a real dizzy feeling just standing there. And that has happened to me before. I had stayed a couple years ago at the Low Hotel, which is in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And for those who don't know, that is kind of the celebration town of Mothman.
Yeah, that's right.
Is displayed up above me here. I got a Mothman thing. Love the Mothman. And so that was a great trip. And down the road, I want to do like a whole thing on that too. But when we stayed, the Low Hotel is also known to be quite haunted, and it's right downtown. And we stayed in probably the most haunted room there, which they call the captain's room. And every time I would enter, we'd unlock our key, we'd come in, it got dizzy. I would get so dizzy, and I don't know what it was. It wasn't happening anyplace else. But I got the same sensation being in the game room at the Roads Hotel. So that at first I was kind of like, something's interesting here.
Yeah.
And we were all kind of like standing around listening to Crystal, and then I felt something across like my ankles, like something was brushing up against my ankles, like my pants moved. Yeah,
like an animal.
Yeah, almost. And I thought, well, that's interesting, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. I didn't even say anything at the time. I didn't want to be rude. She was talking, and I'm having feelings, like things are happening.
Yeah.
So we just kept going with the tour. And then we had gone upstairs and looked around, and she kind of gave us the rundown of the people who stayed where. Each room kind of had a little something different. Like I said, Sarah, the prostitute's room,
right.
And that was quite large. There's another bedroom where they have gotten, I guess, some EVPs. They get the feeling that it is a very grumpy old lady.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of people don't even like going in there because she's just kind of, I guess, very angry, and they get a lot of negativity.
Like bad energy. Yeah,
bad energy in that room. So next to that was a room that was, this is for my doll folks out there. Ton of like China dolls and baby dolls all around. Yeah.
See, I would find that creepy.
Yes, and I think a lot of people would. Yes.
Yeah.
They were everywhere.
Oh.
And I had to laugh because, Jamie, have you ever seen the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No.
Okay. You have to watch it. If you enjoy The Office, which I know you do, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's one of my favorite shows.
Okay. I think I've seen a few episodes, but I haven't just sat down and like binged it or kept up with it. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's the same. The creator is Michael Schur, who plays Mose on The Office. The writer on The Office.
Oh, cool.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, yes. And so it stars Andy Samberg. It's about this police department. There is an episode that I couldn't help but immediately, it just took me right there. Andy Samberg goes, technically he's on the job, but he's staying at this bed and breakfast that's supposed to be haunted. And so he's there with his girlfriend, who is played by Eva Longoria at that time in the show. And he walks into the room and there is like an absurd amount of dolls all over the room. And he walks in and he's like, dolls, so many dolls.
Yeah. I would be that way. I would be like, I can't. There's no way I can sleep in here.
Yes. It was all I could think of when I walked in there because there's dolls. It wasn't as much as the episode, but that's all I could think of because, and I know they did it for aesthetics. I mean, I know it's kind of, but yeah, I'm sure most everyone we were touring with were like, nope, not dealing with that. Right.
Yeah.
And on top of it, we noticed later, I think it was actually Dustin who noticed it when we had gone through again. There's this almost like Tiffany style lamp hanging, but on that is clowns.
It's getting worse.
Right. Yeah, that room is probably an absolute nightmare for most people.
Yeah.
Yes. And I believe that's the room that Kris was staying in. Was the dolls. Yeah, she slept with the dolls in the clown lamp.
Ooh, good for her, but no thanks.
Brave, yeah. So, and then we went by the room that Everett was quarantined and passed away in. We saw that one. There was also the room where a lot of people had seen, rumored that someone may have hung themselves, or they saw the stick figures in that particular closet. And I know someone in our group was like, I'm going there first. I heard someone go, I'm going in there first. Like, when the lights go out. So, yes. So a lot of people were kind of excited to get in there and check out the closet.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, that was kind of, it felt like every bedroom had a story or a particular spirit that, people had experienced in each room. So that was cool. Yeah, I thought it was really, really neat.
So it's full. Yeah, like you said, they're everywhere.
I think that they are everywhere. One of the things that when we were doing our talk, Crystal had said there was another group of investigators that had been there, and they actually caught amazing footage of an apparition.
Wow.
Yes, and she talked about it. So when we got to break into our groups, because half of us started with Kris, the other half started with Dustin upstairs, and then we were going to swap. So right before we did that, because I was with Kris first downstairs, I walked over to Crystal and I was like, is there a place where we can see this video? Like, I was curious to see it. And because she had said she had shown Dustin and Kris, and Dustin said it was probably some of the best footage he had ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And so Crystal was like, she's like, I have it on my phone if that's okay. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, I want to check this out. And sure enough, so the investigators, it was a group of women who were there. They were, from what I understand, they were kind of like set up in the room, like where we walked into, and we got to have the Q&A in. I think they were kind of set up there with cameras pointing through the dining area into what would have been like an entryway just past. It was kind of before you went into the game room area.
Okay.
And so there was a window. It's a front window, faces the street. but I believe it was kind of dark outside, but you've got the street lights on that were kind of coming through the window. So there was enough light. But sure enough, you clearly see a woman walk in the room, kind of stand right there, like in front of the window. She turns around and she walks back out again. I mean, clear as day. And you can actually, if you look under, like I said, the dining table, you can look under the dining room table and you can see her legs. And I mean, you can even see her feet pivot, like to turn and go the other way.
That's pretty clear. Yeah,
very, very clear. It was really kind of the perfect light up situation because she was solid, but not quite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't. You could tell it wasn't a person like you and me, but with that light, it was just enough light coming in. You got a really good look at her silhouette.
Right.
So that was very, very cool.
Like almost like a hologram kind of.
Yeah. Like I said, you can tell just enough that it's not a person.
Right.
But it was like a perfect, it was a perfect shape of a person. It was a woman. You could totally tell.
Wow.
Yeah. So I wish they had that video out.
Yeah.
Somewhere so everyone could kind of see or put it on their website. They do have a website everyone can check out, which is I think roadshotel.com. I'll put it in the show notes too. But I think that would be really cool. They could put that because that's tempting. That's tempting. Like
that would bring more people in too.
I think it would. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you feel like there's potential to really see something.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool, and I was glad I got a chance to check that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we downstairs. I was gonna say we were downstairs first. That was the time I was kind of like it was just me and like Kris and Crystal, doing an EVP session. And people were kind of just coming in and out, checking things out. Then we swapped and went upstairs. And Dustin, I think I had said before, for the Ohio State Reformatory episode, Dustin has a spirit box, but he uses a program that he can actually use on his tablet. Okay. So we've got the speaker. It's not as like, a lot of spirit boxes are just so choppy and they're like loud. And when you get those, you hear the static a lot of times. This is much clearer. You can hear the voices come through a little bit better. Oh. He has a system of how to ask questions to spirits just so we know, it's not faulty, right. Really working. So you he wants you to introduce yourself and ask a question or say things like, I like chocolate ice cream. What kind of ice cream do you like? And then you can kind of hear what the voices are saying. So I'm a little sorry I didn't speak up, but I thought I'm not going to argue. It's Dustin Pari. I'm just going to, we're going to go with it. Yeah. But we were doing the session and one of the other people that were there visiting, she was across from me. And so we just kind of like all lined up along the hallway upstairs doing this session. And she had said her name. She said, this is my name. What's your name? And I heard something and they heard something different. But they heard, she's sweet. She's sweet. And it was funny because Dustin looked at me because he knew that it was a young girl that was there. And her and her father and brother come to a lot of the events. In fact, I recognize them from the reformatory.
Oh, okay.
And so it was funny because Dustin he turned and looked at me. He was like, they must be talking about you because I know they're not talking about her, picking on the young girl. But I kept thinking, I did not hear she's sweet. I heard je suis French. Oh. But I felt like an idiot because I'm like, I know it's French, but I couldn't exactly remember what it was. I know je m'appelle is, my name is, and then you say your name. This is the embarrassing part. I've taken 4 years of French in school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I took 2 years in middle school, 2 years in high school. Listen, we're all friends here, right? I'm going to admit this to you all. I failed.
Oh, no.
2 years of high school. I flunked French. I think you have to have a really good understanding of the English language before you start learning other languages. And that's where you lose me. I can barely speak English. So learning French was like not good. But I remember some things. I wish I knew it. I love languages.
Yeah.
And then I made the mistake of taking 2 years of Spanish for the remainder of high school. So sometimes if I try to speak it now, I'll start in French and end in Spanish. Like I get the two combined and confused sometimes. So I just forget it. I'm just going to stick to English. However, I can recognize it. And I was like, she just said, je suis. So the next day I was like, I looked it up. Je suis means I am. And I think if we would have listened a little bit longer, they were saying I am, and they were going to say their name. They may have said their name.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I'm right. And here's the thing, like anytime he was passing the spirit box around for everyone to get a chance to talk, there was someone French. It was the same lady every single time. She was answering in French. And even at sometimes Dustin would even say, in English, please. He would say to the spirits, in English, please. And so and it's hard, and I'm bummed. I wish I would have been paying more attention in class, because then I could understand the ghosts that were coming through.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah. If I could go back and tell little Jenny to pay more attention in French class, then there could have been all kinds of things. I would have understood during this voice box session. So yes, but I felt good.
You didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. I feel pretty confident that spirit was saying je suis, saying I am, and that would make more sense than hearing she's sweet.
Yeah.
I think she was saying I am, and she was going to answer that question. So, and a lot of people had their questions answered, which was really, really cool. Things were coming out very clearly during the session. It's kind of a cool thing to try out. So yeah, so that was really fun. And then after that, we were kind of free to roam on our own. Like I said, I actually had recognized a couple of people that were there. So the young girl that was there. So when I was at the reformatory, and I think I talked a little about being in the chair room.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, it's pitch black in there, but I couldn't help it. The people I recognize now, they stood out so much before because they were young people. They were children.
Right.
And, you notice it because it's mostly adults, and you have these kids there. So, like I said, it's a father and his 2 kids. The son did not come to the hotel this time around. He brought his daughter, who she's 14. I'm not going to use names. Because I didn't talk to them about this or get permission, but they were there. And they crack me up. Like, they go everywhere. They travel. They're from Minnesota. They have a farm in Minnesota. Mom stays home and takes care of the farm while they go out and check out all these haunted places.
Oh, how fun.
Right? I just think that's so cool. And they had left early. Dad was wearing a Detroit Pistons sweatshirt. They had actually driven to Michigan first and went to a Pistons game.
How funny.
And then came down to Indiana. Yeah, I just thought, oh my gosh, that would just be really, really cool. Like, that's... fun memory.
Life.
Right? Exactly. And then the other people I recognized was a mother and a son. I remember seeing them there because I thought the boy sure looks the same age as my son. So I started talking with the mom, and I just asked her, I said, well, how old is your son? And sure enough, she said, he's 9. And I was like, well, my son is 9 too. And they reminded me so much of each other.
Aww.
And I just kept thinking to myself, though, I was like, oh my gosh, Hayden you couldn't pay him to be doing what this brave boy was doing. Like,
right.
There's no way. I couldn't get either of my kids to go and do anything quite like this. Gabby's done. She's retired from ghost hunting for sure.
Right.
And, with good reason. And, but yeah, Hayden, no, there's no way. But this boy, he was so brave. And, I thought about it, and I can't even remember who I was talking. Maybe I was talking with Gabby about the situation. I said, I feel like it's possible people could pass judgment on bringing your kids, to something like this, especially someone as young as 9. But I thought, I was thinking it, and then Gabby said it. She said, Mom, when you were that age, you would have loved to do something like that. Right? I said, you're right. Yeah. I said, yeah, absolutely. I said, I'm certainly not going to judge because, I was that kid. I was that kid that liked the idea of ghosts, and I watched horror movies and, all that
Me
stuff.
Too. I started young. My mom was huge into horror films, and so I got an early start.
Yeah. Yes. And I was different with my kids. I shielded them from a lot of things, just because I just thought that was the thing, to do. Yeah. They've never really asked about it. Eventually, I think around 12, Gabby was like, her friends, they wanted to come over and watch scary movies. And I'm fine. Like, they were able to handle it. They were at an age where they could handle it.
Right.
Maybe I felt like before it wasn't really, for them. And there's no, Hayden there's no way. He couldn't do any of that stuff right now. And that's A-okay. I remember he had asked me, would have been last Halloween. He was 8, and he asked me if he could watch Beetlejuice. And I told him no, because I just thought maybe some of the imagery might be too much for him or whatever the case. But then I remembered when I was 8, that's when Beetlejuice came out. I saw Beetlejuice in the theater. And not only that, but my friends, Dad drove us to see Beetlejuice, dropped us off at the front. He did not come in with us. Dropped 3 8-year-olds off at the door. And I'm trying to remember what it was rated. I think PG or PG-13. I don't know. We had zero problem back in the 80s getting a ticket on our own. Walked in, watched that movie by ourselves, but here I'm telling my 8-year-old, I'm like, I just don't know that you can do Beetlejuice.
I know, it's so funny. It's so different when it's you. Yeah,
the times have changed. So yeah. But I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really great. This kid is like, he's brave, and he's doing it. And then the poor guy.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I mean, he got an experience, that's for sure. I mean, that's what they came for. So the 14-year-old girl, like her dad, and I noticed this at the reformatory, and she says it to me too. She was just like, she goes, we come to these things and then he's nowhere to be found. She's like, he just leaves us all the time.
Wow. Brave.
So she's like, is it okay if I hang out with you? Can I come with you? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And I had told her, I said, I remembered them from the reformatory. And I said, we were all together in the chair room. I said, I'm sure you don't remember, or it's pitch black. I'm like, you don't know who I was. And so we did. We went around to the different rooms. And I mean, right from jump, I wanted to head to the grumpy lady room. That was kind of my thing. I kind of wanted to check that out. And we went in there, and right from jump, big stomping footsteps. Right in front of us. Yeah. We kind of just sat on the bed, and boy, oh boy, boom. I mean, right in front of us. Like, you could feel it. And I thought, oh my gosh, here we go. And so as we're kind of sitting there, though, we could hear things coming from the closet in the room. Yeah. So it was so funny. She was like, I don't know if I want to open the closet. I was like, I don't blame you. I was like, but she's like, but I want to know. I want to check it out. I want to say something. I want to do something.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, all right. I said, I'll come with you. And sure enough, we opened the door, and, we were asking questions, and we were getting a lot of like tapping and knocking responses to them. Okay. Just kind of asking things, like, do you like us being here? Would you like us to go? And we did. Eventually, we had asked, do you want us to go? And then we got a very clear tap on that one. Oh. We'll give whoever a break. And we ended up kind of coming out of that room. And we did go into the doll room. We were in there for a little bit. But while we were in there, all of a sudden you could hear like a big bang and some scuffling and screaming. And so we get up and go out to the hallway, and it was this poor 9-year-old boy. He was in a room across the hall with his mom, and while they were in there, I believe what happened is the door opened and then closed. Oh. You could hear it. You could hear boom. And he screamed and he ran out of that room.
Oh no. I feel that though.
Yes, right?
I'm a big runner.
Yes. It's hard because my first instinct is to be very motherly and be like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's going to be all right. And because he's like, no, he's going, nope, that's not okay. It's not okay. It's not going to be okay. His mother was so calm. She was just the sweetest lady. She was like, honey, that's what we're here for. Like, and she's like exhilarated. And she's like, this is great. He's like, nope, no more.
I'm out. I'm done.
So yeah, I had to laugh because I was like, but it, I believe them. I didn't see the door, but I believe it. He was mortified. So yeah, and he just kept repeating it. He was like, that door just shut. It just shut by itself. He's like, it was by itself. Oh my gosh. So we were definitely getting some action. And we kind of checked out most of the rooms. We were down in Everett's room. Not too much going on in there when we were in there, really. We did go in the room that had the closet, for the potential hanging in there. And we were getting some knocking noises. But it was nice because during this time, like Dustin kept popping in and, he'd hang out with it. We were doing sessions and stuff and talking and trying to get things in there, which was really, really neat.
Cool.
It was just a very cool experience. And I think we got kind of what we came for, honestly. I mean, there's something's there. Many somethings are there. So I felt pretty satisfied with the investigation.
It sounds a lot more intimate than the reformatory.
Yes, I think so too. It was at one point when Dustin had come in, he said to the young girl, he was like, where's your dad? And she goes, I think he's giving money to the prostitute down the hall.
That's funny.
She's like, he's laying out money for her. And so
that's hilarious.
It's just so casual. I just about died. I mean, things you only hear when you're on a ghost hunting trip.
Yeah.
Giving money to the prostitute. My dad's giving money to the prostitute, the dead prostitute down the hall. So yeah. So funny. But yeah, then we all kind of like came, we wrapped it up and came downstairs. We did kind of practice, it was like seance style, but not like a real seance. We could kind of put some lights that would be sensitive to, having anyone around. So we kind of laid those out on the table. We tried a couple experiments with repeating, and it had worked before, they had said. In fact, the young girl I was with and her dad had been at a place in one of their tours they had gone on, and it worked. So they wanted to try it there. And the deal was, we all get together, we all kind of hold hands around the table, and someone was going to say a phrase, just pick a phrase out. And we were all to, one by one, repeat it, and then see if it picks up on the recorder. And before it had done it, like you got it wasn't anybody around the table. You kind of got it was the voice of someone else repeating the same phrase. Yeah. So it did not work for us, but it had worked before. So that's kind of a neat experiment to try, when you're out doing, ghost hunting and things like that. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, and then we just kind of, wrapped it up for the night around midnight. Yeah. So I thought I had a great time. I certainly would love to do another, ghost hunt with the ghost hunters again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I think it would be great fun for us to get together and, even if it's not the Roads Hotel, I'm sure there's lots of places where you can rent it out for the night and stay. Knowing how active that place is, I think we wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah. And I think it's a good kind of middle spot to meet too,
True. So. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad at all.
Yeah.
So that was my experience there. I did have like a nice little vacation, if you will, like even before in our last episode, I talked about how I was going to stop at the Dollhouse Museum that I didn't get a chance to go to when I'd been there before. Yeah. So it was interesting. They actually had, the day I was there, they had like a yard sale. It just dollhouse stuff. They were selling dollhouse.
Really?
Yeah, in the museum, there's a little store where you can buy miniatures. And so they were just kind of going through, I think they called it an attic sale.
Okay.
And they rented out another building not too far from the museum. And yeah, they had miniatures and they had all kinds of stuff. So I haven't begun yet, but a couple years ago, I purchased a dollhouse that I have to put together. I think that's why I've put it off for so long, because once again, I make Gabby do these things. I don't do it. I don't have, my patience is not good and it's tedious. And I know I had mentioned on shows before, growing up, things like dolls and things like don't bother me, because growing up, we had those and we collected dolls and we had doll houses. Like my mom had one. I had one, and we would go to like, they have shows like conventions where they have vendors where they sell miniatures, and they literally make everything you can possibly think of in miniature form. And so I had decided, it had been decades since I had done that hobby. And I thought, you know what, I want to try it, because I wanted to make a haunted dollhouse.
Oh, okay.
Do it up kind of like a little haunted house. I've yet to do it, but I did go to the yard sale and I found a couple things that I thought, when I put this house together, that would work for a little haunted house. Like I found a little rocking chair. I meant to bring it. I'll take a picture of it. I'll put it on Instagram, but I found the cutest little, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe just display it behind me, but it was a miniature arcade game, but it was like a UFO game, like video.
Yeah.
So I thought, I couldn't pass it up. So I got it. It was really cute. So I did that. I went over to the museum, and even if that's not even necessarily your thing, I would recommend it to people. I mean, it is just the way they had everything set up, and they had different houses, or what they call like shadow boxes with scenes in them from years. I mean, they even had recent things like Polly Pockets and mini brands, if you're familiar with mini brands. But these things, they're really pieces of art, is really what they are. Absolutely beautiful pieces of art. And everything was so intricate. We could do a little scavenger hunt. So I had my little paper, and I was doing, they were finding different things. And so I did that. I had a wonderful time. I thought it was great.
I got to do that.
I am too.
I know it was on your list, and you didn't get to.
I didn't get to do it last time.
Yeah.
But it was good. I think it was good that I was kind of by myself too, just because I'm a looker. I take a long time, and I'm sure no one wants to hang out with me while I'm doing every little thing there. But speaking of haunted houses, someone had made a replica of the Addams Family house.
Oh, fun.
Oh my gosh, this thing was so neat. They even had dolls that looked like the characters, like a little Wednesday doll. I mean, it was really something. So I got pictures. I can post some of those too, because I think they're just fun. Really neat. And then I went across the street and a restaurant called Juniper on Main, which I had eaten at before. Super good food. If you're in Carmel, Indiana, the museum and the restaurant and everything is so good. It's a really cool city. There's so many things to do. I really like Indiana. I've decided it's a really kind of cool place. I haven't
spent a lot of time there. Just mainly Indianapolis.
Okay. Yes. So. Yep.
Fort Wayne a little bit, but
Fort Wayne. Yeah. That's cool. These cities I think are just really not too far outside of Indianapolis. So the place I kind of went.
Okay.
It was really cool. But the big thing I did was on the way home. I did it, Jamie. I stopped at Uranus Fudge Factory. Yes.
I've got to do it. How was it? Was it worth the hype?
Everything and more, to be honest with you. I mean, man, you walk in and everyone that works there is like yelling, "Welcome to Uranus!" And
that's awesome.
And it's so decorated, and you got alien stuff. You've got, it's got all the big things we had talked about. I mean, there's like a dinosaur outside.
Yeah.
it's just, there's an astronaut, the billboards, if anyone listening, has seen any of the billboards too, I mean, my goodness, it's just, it's awesome. I recommend everyone to stop by. And the fudge is so good.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's so good. I was looking at the flavors, and already the guy behind the counter had asked, he was like, do you want your fudge packed?
Yeah. Of course.
Yes, and it was like, do you want your fudge packed tight, or do you want it loose? Or I mean it's just so, it's so fun and inappropriate, and they all know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But lots of fun little things. It's a gift shop, and but the fudge is amazing. I did get a little bit of that, and I bought some other things, but I got something for you, Jamie. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm gonna send it to you. I found it. I thought you had to have it for your coffee.
Okay.
But
oh yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I couldn't pass it up. So there's a little logo on the back.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I will send this. I will send. I love it. I heart Uranus.
So, yes, I heart Uranus.
But I highly recommend it. It's so fun.
Oh, it's gonna be my favorite new mug. I love it.
Good.
Thank you.
Yes. And I was so ecstatic that it just so happens that the Fudge Factory was the same exit as a Skyline Chili. Are you familiar with Skyline Chili?
No.
So Skyline Chili is it's a Cincinnati chili place that you can usually find Indiana, Ohio. I don't get it very often. They don't have anything like that in Michigan. If they do have it in Michigan, boy, it's probably nowhere near where I am.
Right.
But Cincinnati chili is kind of polarizing. They use cinnamon in it.
Okay.
So you either love it or you hate it.
I've heard this before.
Yeah. You love it or hate it. I love it. But you get chili dogs from there, and they put the Cincinnati chili on it, and they put about a pound of cheese on each and every dog.
Yeah.
And I'm all in. I love it. So when I see one, I love to stop. And so it was the same exit. I got to go to the Fudge Factory and stop at Skyline. I know. I was like, I'm in heaven. This is great.
Yeah, awesome.
Yes.
Definitely worth a stop for sure.
So yes, if you stop for Fudge, stop at Skyline Chili and try a dog. See what you think of Cincinnati chili. People love it or they hate it. Yep. Yeah. So it was a great trip. It was great. I love doing things like that. I love a road trip.
Yes. So. It's time. It's time for me to road trip too.
It is. Yes. Yeah. Great. And especially when you can hit a haunted place, on the way, it's great. So
yes.
Yeah. So I give the Roads Hotel. I mean, I think it's a 10 out of 10, honestly.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I think
it sounds like it.
Yeah. So that was really good. But
that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's all I got. That's all I got today.
It was great.
Okay,
some good stuff. Yeah. Good. I got chills a few times when you were talking about like the footsteps and just Yeah.
There's definitely something going on there for sure. And that's what we like to hear.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you're there. So
that's right. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Hey, do you before we wrap up, I just wanted to know if you had any updates on the Victoria and
Goodwin.
Situation.
And I sure do. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
So I had heard they did go to court. I don't think it was necessarily on the date that was given, which I wanted to say it was, I don't know, what was the 10th? I think it was. I don't think it happened on the 10th. They did make it to court. So they did drop one of the charges. She pled guilty to the other charge. So she is now facing 2 to 10 years of time. Yeah. So that will be that. Now we're just waiting to hear when that date will be. She'll see the judge and they'll give her time.
She must have a good lawyer. I don't know. I just feel like 2 years is definitely not enough for almost killing someone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, agreed. this really could go either way. We've talked about the fact that because it is someone who is on television,
mainstream, yeah.
Are they gonna like make an example out of her?
Right.
Like, everyone is watching, it's in the public eye. Are they going to be like, well, we're going to give it to her? Or are they going to factor in that she does not have a criminal record?
Right.
That it didn't actually happen. But here's the thing. I mean, they could give her 10 years, but if she behaves herself in there, she's not going to do 10 years.
Right.
It's possible she can get out for good behavior. And
that's true. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what she's going to get appointed. She could be given a certain amount. I think she's only going to do 3 years. That's my guess.
That's your guess? 3?
That's my guess.
Okay.
And not necessarily be given the 3 years. They could, like I said, they could give her more.
Right. But she'll end up getting out in 3 years.
That's my guess. That's what I think. But we should start taking like money bets on this.
Yeah.
We'll still have to do the show in a decade because we'll be like, she did all 10 years.
That's right. This would be a really long running bet here.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what do you think? I mean,
I don't know. I don't see her doing more than 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe even less. Like, I don't know. Yeah. It blows my mind how little people can stay in for something as big as what she tried to do, Yeah.
So. It's the system. It's the system. I think it's out of whack. I really do. I mean, there's some things like I joke with Gabby. I was like, the kind of infamous young, I don't even know if you want to call him drug dealer, but I'm like, white boy Rick did more time
right
than this girl will probably do. And he was a kid and he was doing work for the FBI and he did a long time. I think he's out now. I think he's finally out, but I don't even know for sure.
I think I heard that, but I don't remember for sure.
Yeah. But white boy Rick
familiar.
Did more time than Victoria Goodwin. It's true. Right. But it's anybody. It's anybody who plans a murder.
Yeah.
The law is a max of 10 years.
Huh.
And that's pretty much state, any state you're in America. And I think that is so off. I just don't think
I do too.
Right. I think they need to. I think
mentally they did it.
Mentally.
You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
They're definitely capable of it. So
absolutely. That's the thing. I mean, and like I've said it before, the text messages and the money exchanged, that seals the deal.
Yeah.
There was money exchanged. She meant it. This is what she wanted. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Right.
She wanted it done. And so that to me, and what gets me is the people, she's going to be doing some time, but the ones who are really going to do time are the victims in this situation.
Yeah.
Aaron Goodwin is the one who's going to have the life sentence here because he is going to be looking over his shoulder probably for the rest of his days, which is so unfair. I mean, the trauma, the anxiety that this type of thing creates, you don't get over it. There's no moving on from this. And this is the unfair thing about this,
Right.
She'll be out. I mean, let's say she even did 10 years. She's a young girl. I mean, she's a young woman. What is she, in her mid-30s?
Something like that, yeah.
She'll be out by the time she's my age. That's a long life ahead of her. And, I mean, listen, my gut feeling says she's not going to try anything else again. That's just what my gut says, But Aaron, I can only imagine, has this horrible, uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
Even right now, even while she's in jail.
Right.
I'm sure. And it's not fair. And, he's not the only one. You hear these cases. I hate to say it quite often. It happens, and sometimes it goes through and sometimes it doesn't. These things get stopped, but they wanted to happen. They wanted it to happen. And the people who plan them just don't do a lot of time, in my opinion. And it's just
not enough time anyway.
Enough.
Yep.
It's not enough.
Well, thank you for the update. I'm sure there'll be more to come.
Yeah, there will be more. Yeah, like I said, at some point, all the transcripts of the text messages between her and Grant Amato will be out. I think once everything's said and done, Aaron may make a statement.
Yep.
He has a lawsuit against her for several things, so they will have to go through that. Yeah, so I think there's plenty more to come.
Yeah.
I was really, like I said before, it's amazing how quickly the state of Nevada is getting through this. So I've not heard a date for sentencing, but I'll obviously keep everyone posted on that. So
yeah. Well, awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for listening. And I think that's our show.
All right. Cool. Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. We love those likes, shares, subscribes, all the fun stuff. We appreciate you all.
Helps us a ton. So and if you want to stay connected with us on social media, we are on Facebook as the Unexpected Archives, on Instagram as Unexplained Archives 25. And you can email us at unexplainedarchives2025@gmail.com. So we'd love to hear your stories, and we just love to hear from you. We like the constructive.
We love the attention.
Yes.
Yes.
Compliments. So anytime you want to give us those, we're here for it.
That's right. Well, thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.